Oh my gosh. Food is so important because you cannot live without it.
You need food to survive, you need food for energy, you need food to think, you need food for your mind, for your body, for your muscles, for everything. Everybody needs food to give themselves a fair chance at life. In my opinion, as far as Toronto goes, and even outside of Toronto, I think there are some golf courses. That's prime land. We don't need all that recreation because we got to eat. If you're hungry, your stomach growls, okay, everyone's does. But it shouldn't be a thing we should have to worry about in the future.
I mean, in some ways it's the kind of fundamental basis of life, but it's also something that's deeply cultural and social for people. It's how people express love, how they express their culture, their history. It's how they relate to the earth. The right to food is a struggle to regain control over the food system and to have it be participatory, to have it be sustainable, to have it be equitable. I think a right to food that would not rely on food banks and rely on living wages and social benefits that actually allow people to live a dignified life would transform how a lot of people's lives are lived and the stresses that they face on a daily basis. We don't often talk about poverty, and I think sometimes as a food movement, we need to think more about that. Any rights-based approach is supposed to be participatory, where affected communities have the right to participate in determining what policies get made, how those get implemented, and how they get monitored, and that those affected communities should be at the heart.
It fuels us, it nurtures us, our physical bodies, our mental selves, our emotional selves, builds community. It connects on so many different important social movements. So you can get to environmentalism, tackling racism and white supremacy and sexism and gender issues, capitalism, economics, all those kind of things sort of intersect around food access. Everyone has the ability to feed themselves and to take care of themselves, their family, and their community. Not having food is a massive stress, financially, emotionally, physically. To remove that worry would be an incredible thing to see happen in our city. But then also to not just remove the worry, but to make sure that people have the tools to do what they need to do themselves. So I think to see the right to food realized in Toronto will mean that our communities will have to really tackle some of the systemic forms of oppression that exist in the food system. So there are grocery stores across the city, in only certain communities in the city, in which you're greeted by an armed security guard when you're trying to buy food. And the reality is that myself, as a white woman walking into that space, I don't get stopped. But my friend who is black will always be stopped, and their bag is searched on the way in and on the way out. And so even if we realize a legal right to food, we have to recognize how that will never be fully realized until we dismantle the systemic forms of oppression that block people from accessing food, which they need to live. It's not just that people have what they need to survive, but that people actually have what they need to thrive.